Hello, compliments of the season. How are you doing? Hope you've been having an amazing time with your family or alone. I am sending you warm hugs right now. I hope you're doing well. If you're someone who lost a loved one this year, especially, and this holiday season has been tough for you, I may not understand fully how rough it's been for you, but I know that it can be tough, seeing some family members around and then not seeing that special one around. It can bring back memories and it's really challenging. I'm sending warm hugs to you right now and I pray that God continues to hold your heart. He truly is the only one who knows how to comfort us in the way that we need to be comforted. So, this is my prayer for you that God holds your heart through it all and helps you to enjoy the peace and the joy that is in abundance, even in this season. Just know that you're not alone. God is with you, God is for you, and God will help you through all that you're feeling. He'll help you process your emotions, and it may not make sense now, and it may never make sense, why all that happened, but eventually you will be able to know how to cope, even despite the holes that still remain in the picture that you would like to understand. I pray that God embraces you in His love, that through this experience that you've had, you'll be able to come to know God's love in a deeper way, God's comfort in a deeper way, God's peace in a deeper way, God's joy in a deeper way, God's goodness overall in a way that is deeper than what you've ever experienced before. Amen. With joy, we draw from the wells of salvation. Open your heart to the stories you hear today. Let them serve as tools to draw health, courage, comfort, graces from the endless supply of the one who gives freely and abundantly. So, grab a friend, grab a snack, and prepare to receive a fresh dose of joy. Welcome to Joy O'Clock. It's more than just story time. So I'm here on the farm, and what's behind me is a mango tree. Looking by the title of today's video, you already have an idea what we're going to be talking about, but we're talking about more than mangoes today. Anyway, this year we had the privilege of enjoying the fruits of this mango tree and another mango tree. And one of those days, while I was enjoying one of my favorite mangoes, I started to think about the similarities in both of them and the differences as well. We have two species of mango, like I said. The mango that falls is called Opiora mango, at least in Port Harcourt, where I grew up. This is what we call it. I think some other people call it green mangoes, I guess because it doesn't turn another color when it's ripe. Sometimes you can see like a yellow hue forming from the place where the fruit connects to the tree, but it stays green even when it's ripe. And the other one, I'm not sure what the name is, but it looks like many other variants, like the kerosene mango. It might look like a cherry, but it's quite bigger than the cherry. It gets really big when it's ripe, but just know that it's the mango that turns yellow when it's ripe. One of them falls when it's ready to be eaten. And if you can wait to pick a pure mango when it falls, that's the best you get. Like, it's amazing. It is delicious when you pick it up from the ground. But if you pluck it from the tree when it is not ready to be eaten, sometimes it doesn't get ripe, it gets spoiled, and then even if it gets soft for you to eat and it's still edible, you will never get the same taste as when you get it when it is ready to be eaten, either when it falls by itself or just before it was about to fall. So that other mango, you don't get it from the tree. You have to wait for it to fall. Or if you've studied it and you know when to get it, then you pluck it at the right time. You still get to enjoy it. But this mango, no matter how ripe it gets, it does not fall. So sometimes you see ripe, very ripe mangoes on the tree, and you'll be wondering why is it not falling like this other one? I mean, it's ready to be eaten, right? But that's just how it is. It doesn't fall to the ground except by some external force. Maybe if a big bird passes by or shakes that particular one and then it falls to the ground. That's if the bird does not get to it first, right? Because Once birds see the ripe mango on the tree, they go for it. They get their share. Most times they don't finish it off, so you just see it fall to the ground and half of it has been eaten. Most times I'm wondering, like, why don't you just eat the whole fruit? I mean, let's not waste fruits here, right? So this year, while it was bearing fruit, I took the responsibility of, always coming to check to make sure that we're not missing ripe fruits. And no matter how, efficient you are in the checking, you get to miss one or two fruits, and it will be like, oh, I did not see that one. But probably those are the ones that were high up, and you will not get to see them when they're, ripe before the birds get to them because they're covered by leaves or they're just too high and we're not able to get them. For this one that does not fall, I had to devise a means of getting to the fruit without having to climb the tree. That other tree, remember I said you have to wait for it to fall, but the time it was bearing fruit, I got the privilege of discovering that when the fruit is ripe and ready to be eaten, just before it falls, it starts to release sap from the tiny stalk that connects the tree to the fruit. So it leaves like dark traces on the body. Whenever I see that, I know that this fruit is ready to be eaten. So even if it's still on the tree and you get it down, you still get an amazing fruit to eat. So that's what I learned from the other one. While I was enjoying this fruit and thinking about this phenomenon, it came to my heart that with life, it is like that, right? There are certain dreams, certain things that God has told you about that you have to wait for. And then there are some other things that you have to go for. So you have to trust in God to help you to be able to differentiate the two. Because if you go for the one that you're supposed to wait for, you go for it too soon and you end up not being able to maximize the potential of that opportunity. You end up not being able to enjoy the potential or what it is that you were supposed to get from it because you were not supposed to go for it. Now you've gone for it too soon. Just like the mangoes I talked about, if you go for it when it's not ready to be eaten, when it's not ripe, once it touches the ground, it does not turn orange as it's supposed to turn when it's ripe and ready to be eaten. It will either get spoiled, or if it gets soft and you still get to eat it, it will have this pale yellow color and you don't get the delight from it at that time. And this other mango, if you get it when you start to see the yellow patches forming, even if it's not completely yellow, when it's down, it can still get ripe in your basket. It still also applies that it is important to know the right time to go for these things. Whether you're waiting for something to happen as God has told you, or you're supposed to participate in making it happen as God has told you, three important things need to be in place: patience, gratitude, and the right attitude. Whether you're working towards something or you're waiting for something, patience is important, and your heart needs to be in that place of gratitude so that you don't get bitter and start complaining because you're yet to see the fruit of all the labor you've been putting in. Because there are sometimes you'll be working on something, you're on the right track, you're on time, you're working on it, but you're not seeing the fruit of it yet. Now, this is an example of when you need to go for something, right? So you're going for it, you're putting in the effort, but you're not seeing the fruit yet. You still have to be patient, you still have to be grateful, and you still have to maintain the right attitude, because if you let your attitude turn sour at that time or you get impatient, you miss out on what you were supposed to get. So I don't know if you've heard this story of a man who was mining for gold, and after putting in so much work for such a long time, he got tired. It seemed like all the effort he had been putting in was not yielding any fruit, and he stopped the work. And after he left, someone else came and just, used the pickaxe, hit that place where the man had been working, and that whole thing fell off, and the gold that was behind that wall was revealed. This is just to say sometimes we're putting in all that effort, and because we're not seeing the big picture form yet, it can tend to feel like all the work is not yielding fruit. So it's easy for discouragement to come. But if you know that you're on track, you're doing the right thing, and you're putting in the work that you're supposed to be putting in, you're patient, you have the right attitude, and you maintain a heart of gratitude, you'd be in a better place, and you understand that yes, it doesn't seem like it's working now, but I'm building, I'm making progress, and eventually what I've been building will be visible for people to see. Like when you're building, you have to first lay foundation, and the depth of the foundation is determined by the height of the structure that you're building, the capacity, the size of the structure you're building. If you're building a bungalow, you will not use the same foundation for a duplex. You will not use the same foundation for a duplex for a mansion. And definitely, you will not use the same foundation that you're using for skyscraper, for something like the Burj Khalifa, right? So the depth of the foundation is determined by the kind of structure you're setting up. Sometimes when the foundation is being built, it seems like nothing is happening because nothing has come up out of the ground. You're just seeing work being done, you're seeing all the resources going in, and nothing has come up yet. So, in that time, it will be easy for someone who doesn't have an idea of what they're building to be discouraged. But if you have an idea of what you're building, if you have an idea of the time that it could take for that to be ready, I mean, those people who are building those kind of structures, they are not surprised that they're spending that much time in the ground because they know what they're building. They know what needs to go in if that structure that they want people to see needs to be solid, needs to be world class, right? They know what they're doing. So they focus on their work till it's done down there, and then they start to build from that foundation up. And that's the one that people get to see. That's the one people get to admire. So going into 2025, we need to have that mindset that while we're building, and especially those times that it seems difficult, you're not getting the resources that you need, things don't seem to be aligning as they should or as you desire that they should, we need to remain patient, remain grateful, maintain the right attitude, because all of those things can affect the way you work. If you're into something like content creation, there are times when you put in so much work into a video or whatever it is you've put out there, poetry, a movie, a book, whatever, and you look at the engagement and it just seems like, what is happening? Hello, is anybody out there? You need to remember that you are building, and a lot of the time it may not seem like work is being done. As long as you keep your focus on the main thing, why are you there? What is the message you're trying to pass across? What methods are you applying? You're, constantly checking that, am I on track? Am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Am I delivering it the way I'm supposed to be serving it to the people? As long as you keep that as your focus and do the work you're supposed to do, the turnout will come along as it should. But don't let the temporary situation discourage you from continuing the good work that you're doing. Okay, every effort you're putting in will pay off. One of the things that I constantly remind myself is, Joy, be excellent on the level that you're on. Be excellent with what you have. Max out on the resources you have now. Yes, have your list of the good things that you need, the things that you need for efficiency, the things that you need to be more productive. Have all those pictures, but don't despise what you have now. Don't despise what looks like little. Don't despise what looks like nothing, because all of those things are important. And as you're faithful with what you have, as you're faithful with your now, God will expand you. God will add more as you continue to go. But how do you expect to get more when you've not utilized what you have now? How do you expect to get more when you've not been faithful with what you've been given? So be excellent on your level. It's unfair to you, to your craft, to your gift, to all that you have, if you expect to be excellent on the same level as someone who has put in more years, who has more resources, more opportunities than you. Excellence looks different on different levels. So being excellent on your level means doing the best you can do with what you have. Okay, this is important. As you set up systems and structures to ensure that your vision for 2025 comes to pass, remember that you need to be patient as you work. You need to be grateful. Let your heart continue to overflow with gratitude. And you need to maintain the right attitude. When things don't seem to be going the way that you desire for them to go, the way you dream that they should go, the way you prayed for them to go, doesn't mean you should give up on that thing you're working on. Continue to check with God that you're on track. Has the instruction changed? Am I doing something I shouldn't be doing? Is there something I should be doing that I'm yet to be doing? If those things are in place, your constant communication with God, who is your wisdom, right? Your counselor, your instructor. If those things are in place and you're doing the work you should be doing, then it even helps you stay engaged with the assignment, and you will not be distracted by the thought of what the outcome should be. So the whole point of this video is just to remind us to allow God help us to know what we need to go for as we're going into this year. What are the promises that only He can bring to pass? So all we need to do is just wait, right? Wait for it and know what the quality of our waiting should be like. What should we be doing while we're waiting? How should we be preparing for that thing while we're waiting? As you stay with God, He helps you understand all of these dynamics. Am I waiting for this? What should I be doing while I'm waiting for it? Oh, am I going for this? Okay, how do I go for this thing that you've told me about? So, this is important because there are certain things that God will tell you now that is supposed to be for 20 years to come. So, why He's telling you is for you to have the vision, to build capacity for what will come 20 years from now. It's not every goal, every vision that God gives us that we need to apply now. That's why it's important for us to know what we're waiting for and what we're going for. Some things will just come to us when it's ready. Some will need to go for them when they're ready. But it is important that we know the difference between the two. It is important that we understand these dynamics so that we don't end up burdening ourselves with things that were supposed to be left for later. When you burden yourselves with so many things, you'll be too stressed to experience all that you're supposed to experience while you're going through that process. Going into next year, as I'm permitted, I hope to be able to share some of my processes in this year, 2024, especially the things that I had on ground and what I was able to do with them, to show you some of the challenges I had and how I was able to surmount them, especially as regards content creation, the tools I had to work with, and what I was able to do with them. If I'm permitted, I will share that. But 2024 has been such an incredible year for me. I've learned so much and I have seen God's goodness, God's comfort, God's love in a dimension that is greater than what I had seen before. And even as I'm going into the year 2025, I expect better, of course, better in every way than all the years I've experienced before put together. I just want to use this opportunity to say thank you for everyone who is watching this right now. Thank you for all of you who have stayed with me over the years through all the changes that you have seen in my life on this platform. Thank you for all the prayers. Thank you for the encouragement. These are things that help me keep going, help me maintain the right attitude as I go through all the hurdles of life. I'm so grateful to God for you. Thank God for family, for friends, for community. And God bless you. What are some of the things you've learned in 2024 that you would like others to learn from you? I personally would like to glean from your wisdom. So please do leave that in the comments and let us learn with you. And remember to share this with someone. You never know how this might be a blessing to somebody. My word for 2025 is grace multiplied. So I pray that for you, that love and grace will be multiplied to you and your family in everything you do, everywhere you go, wherever you are, in abundance. In Jesus' name. Happy New Year in advance. Till next time, stay blessed and thrive gracefully. See you in 2025. Bye.
For eyes that see, however blurry the images might be, for a body that's whole and a mind without a hole, for the deserts and wastelands that He treasures in their lands, for the distance traveled, paths elevated and leveled, for peace, joy, and beautiful songs on nights that stretched too long, for a community of beautiful hearts, friends, family, sweethearts. These and more make my gratitude tank full. For these and more, I am thankful.